In this video, we are going to talk about the constant multiple rule. So let's talk about the constant multiple rule. All right. So let's consider, let f is a differentiable function. Let f is a differentiable function and c is a constant. Then dy dx of c fx, or I should say c times fx, is equal to, I'm going to take constant out, so I will write c times dy dx of fx, right? And dy dx of fx is basically what? F dash x, right? And then I need to consider this c because c is outside that bracket. So dy dx of c fx is basically c times f dash x, right? So when you have a question where you have a constant, you will take out that constant outside and then you differentiate the function. Now let's consider an example. So my example is dy dx of, let's find the dy dx of 3x to the power 4. Now, as you can see, my function is x to the power 4, right? Like right here. And this function is the multiplication of 3 and x to the power 4. So 3 is my constant. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that 3 out, and then I will write dy dx of x to the power 4, right? Now let's use the power rule to differentiate. So if I use that, I will write 3 times dy dx of x to the power 4 is basically what? My power rule. Let's write the power rule first. So dy dx of x to the power n is n x to the power n minus 1. This is my power rule, right? So as we can see, my n is 4. So when I use the power rule, I will write 4 times x to the power 4 minus 1, right? Now let's simplify further, and if I do that, I have 3 times 4 is 12 times x to the power 4 minus 1 is 3. So as you can see, dy dx of 3x to the power 4 is basically what? 12x cubed. Alright? Okay. Now let's consider another example. So my example is find dy dx of 6, and then I have a square root of x. This is my function, and I want to find the derivative of this function. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the constant multiple rule, and if I do that, what will I do? I will keep this 6 outside, and then inside the bracket I have dy dx of the square root of x, right? Now, in order to use the power rule, what I need to do, I need to write a square root of x as what? In terms of a number, or I should say in terms of the radical. So I will write this one as 6 times dy dx of, this is basically what? X to the power 1 over 2, right? Now, as you can see, my n is, if I'm using a power rule, this is my n, and my n is 1 over 2. So I'm going to use the power rule. So I'll write 6 times my power rule should give me 1 over 2, and then I have x to the power n, which is 1 over 2 minus 1. And I'm using a power rule right here, right? So let's simplify further. And if I do that, I have 6 times 1 over 2 is 6 over 2 times x to the power 1 over 2 minus 1 is 1 over 2 with a negative sign. Now, as you can see, I have a negative exponent. So let's simplify this. And if I do that, I have 6 over 2 is what? 3. And then I can take this negative exponent to the denominator. And if I do that, I will write 1 over x to the power 1 over 2. If I simplify further, I will write this one as what? 3 times, and this is 1 over x to the power 1 over 2 is the square root of x. Now let's simplify further, and if I do that, I will write this one as 3 times 1 is 3 over the square root of x. And this is basically the differentiation of 6 the square root of x, right? So this is how we will use the power rule and the constant of multiple to find the differentiation of the given function.